train that goes down there about probably 10, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. It's quicker when it goes in the front with the gears. Yeah, it hits on that side.
So we've been asked by NMF to do a little testing here at Champ Truck, and what we did was we did not get yesterday in due to a crash, but today we got the opportunity to test it in a couple different areas. We had Optima Truck, which has been going through a lot with a new driver. The transmission's been heating up. So we started out the day at 182 on a 20-minute, 173 on a 20-minute. We then drained down, put in NMF, and ran a 35-minute heat. And the worst part of the day, probably 95 degrees, track temperature was 125, and the temperature in the transmission actually dropped to 160 degrees. So that's pretty good results. We also did, earlier today, we tried it in our Drago truck, which is 14-liter also, and we pumped up the horsepower. During heat 1, after 20 minutes, the oil temperature was up to 198 in the engine. We then ran NMF in heat 2, 20 minutes also, and the temperature dropped to 180. And during the final heat trophy dash, which was 35 minutes, it came back in at 180 degrees. So far the testing's going pretty good. Pretty darn satisfied.
Hi, I'm Chris Callison. I'm here with Champ Trucks here with Drago. We recently been watching the temps on our differentials here, and we decided to, judging out the temps, we decided to use a new product up at NMF to see if it would lower our temperatures. Based off this morning when we ran the first heat, the differentials came in at 156 degrees after the first heat. We later put in NMF into the differentials and ran it through another heat. After going through and measuring the temperatures again, came out with 148, showing that NMF is really lowering our temperatures and running better with us.
We were having elevated temps in the power steering pump in the number 11 Optima truck. We had 204 degrees on the pump itself and 194 degrees on the reservoir, the actual fluid. We added 2 ounces of NMF, and after the last race we came back with a pump temp of 182 and a reservoir temp of 172.
He's got 900,000 miles on here, and that's the owner of the truck here. That's the owner right there. That water was jumping in there. This chain was jumping. That chain is hardly moving now.
No More Friction, or NMF Ionic Friction Reducer, improves the performance of oil far better than lubricants and automotive chain stores. And to our knowledge, any lubricant in North America and Europe. Please test NMF against the best lubricants you know of, record your testing on video, and share your videos on the internet. Our company of military veterans who manufacture NMF will be grateful if you will do that. Today we will compare the performance of NMF with one of the most popular lubricants in North America. If your work involves vehicle maintenance, you know the ASTM series of independent laboratory tests, recognized worldwide as the standard and trusted by SAE engineers. ASTM D4172 measures a lubricant's friction reduction and wear reduction performance. This is Shell Rotella 15W40 motor oil, very popular in North America. On ASTM D4172, beyond what this oil does alone, NMF reduces friction 36% and wear 22%. Those are super high performance numbers, unmatched in the industry. Now, ASTM testing can be expensive, but there are very effective laboratory tests that you can conduct at your shop or even at your house. This is an oil abrasion tester. You can get one on eBay. Chances are an automotive shop in your area has one. I'll explain how it works. Pressure is applied between this bearing and this spinning race, which generates friction for a lubricant to overcome. We gently lower this bearing onto the race, and when it makes contact, we start the stopwatch. Every 10 seconds, we add a weight. We measure how long the race spins without locking up, how many weights are applied, and how much wear damage occurs to the bearing. Cameraman, could you focus in on this bearing to show that it is new without any damage? Okay, now I'm going to move it into standby position. Today we're going to measure a comparison of the performance of NMF and that of perhaps the best-selling lubricant in North America. We won't reveal the name of this product because we don't want to single out a competitor, but you will find in your testing that they're pretty much all in the same boat. They do not reduce friction or wear nearly as well as NMF. The oil we're going to be using for today's test is Shell Rotella 15W40, a very popular oil in North America. So now we've got it in standby mode. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to apply oil to the race. Now we will apply the additive to be tested to the race. You can see we've applied a lot, ample amount. Now we're going to lower it down. Off camera, are you ready with the clock? Very gently, we're lowering it, very gently. Time. Every 10 seconds. Okay, so our time was 22.95, 23 seconds. So now I will clean the race and the bearing. But let's take a look at the bearing first. I'll wipe it off and then take a look at the amount of Got a little string on here. So, cameraman, can you focus in and see the wear damage on that? Okay, it's a very clear picture. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this up and rotate the pin so it's at a point that it's clean. And we're now going to clean the race and clean the bearing. I'll start out using a wipe, just a regular disinfectant wipe. It's good. Then some 220 grit abrasive paper. I use the wipe again. Now I'm going to apply brake cleaner to this paper towel. And then I will end with just a regular shop rack. So now I'm going to use the brake cleaner on the bearing. So cameraman, have we already seen this? Okay, so if you could just focus in on that's now a clean spot. Okay, I'm going to tighten it up a little bit, make sure it doesn't move. And I'm going to put it back into position. Just like for before. So now we're going to run the same test using the oil and NMF. So I'm applying the oil. I'm applying NMF. You see here. And I'm going to very gently lower it down into position. Some people ask why NMF is not in automotive chain stores. The products there are of average quality. They're mass produced and they compete on price. NMF, on the other hand, is at the very top rung of performance. We don't mass produce it. We produce a small quantity of the very best friction reducer for maximum vehicle protection. If you want the best vehicle protection, we suggest giving NMF a try. If you're not impressed, we have a money-back Guarantee. Time. 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 So you see how much weight is on there and how long it's run. Let's go ahead and stop this and look at the
2 minutes.
how little wear damage there is on the bearing. Probably the reason we hear most that people buy NMF is for longevity of their parts, because parts last so long with NMF because there's very little wear. So cameraman, can you show the bearing? Zoom in on there.
Tip it up just a little bit, so it, and then tip it down a little bit. Okay, that's good.
So you see, with all that extra weight and time, how little wear there is.
Can you
on this
turn the
bearing.
whole thing around and show the other spot? Just spin it. Is it visible? You, okay, just rotate. Okay.
Can you
No,
see?
just rotate it right where you're at. Just turn it and bring the other one in view. Okay.
That's good. This is the drill press test. You're going to need metals you can get at metalsdepot.com. 1/2 inch hot rolled steel bar, part number SQ Sierra Quebec 112. 1/4 inch diameter cold rolled steel pins of equal length, part number R214. And you'll need a weight to hang on the drill press arm. Today we're going to compare the performance of NMF with that of one of the most popular lubricants in North America. We're not going to reveal the name of the product because we don't want to single out a competitor, but you'll find as you're doing your testing that they're all in the same boat. They're not of the high-level performance of NMF. So I'll explain how this test works. You drill 1/4 inch diameter holes of equal depth in the steel bar, and you put an oil and the additive to be tested in the hole, and while this pin is spinning, you gently, very slowly lower it into the hole. When you get to the bottom, you hang your weight on the drill press arm, and at that point you start your stopwatch and you measure the duration that the pin spins before it locks up, and that is your test. Now, the weight that is required to lock it up depends on the strength of your drill. This is a low-end 5-speed. So a 10-pound weight should be about right for it to run for a while before locking up. If you have an industrial drill press, you may need to add a lot more weight, like 25 pounds or 30 pounds or whatever, to get it to lock up in a reasonable amount of time. The key will be for you to do the test more than once. The time that you see in our video will be different from the times you see in your video, but the ratio between the lubricants to be tested should be pretty similar. And you can use this test for comparing the performance of any lubricants. The oil we're going to use for today's test is Shell Rotel 15W40, a very popular oil in North America. So I'm going to add 2 drops of oil into the hole. Drop 1, drop 2, and then the rest of the way we fill it up with the additive to be tested. Okay, stopwatch is ready. I'm going to turn on the drill and lower it down very, very slowly. I'm getting my weight, and I'm going to gently hang on the arm. Whoops. Okay. So that locked up before I even got the weight on there. Let me just try this again. I'm going to add 1, 2 drops. Put the additive back in here. Now some lubricants don't actually work super well, but I expect it to run. Normally it runs. Well, this isn't how I was expecting this to turn out, but let's do something different here. Okay, let me tell you the original plan. We were going to then flip the pin upside down and put oil and NMF in this hole and run the test. But let's just add some NMF to this hole. Okay. And see what we get. Another weight to this because we want it to lock up. Okay. So, like I said, normally you would do the test using the 2 holes, but in this case, the first lubricant wasn't performing enough not to lock up. So that's how you do the drill press test. If you have any questions, please give us a call. We'd be glad to share detailed procedures with you.
I'm Mike Wine. I'm the crew chief on the new King Crunch truck. He's been out of the circuit for 2 years. We're back new this year I've been on the circuit for 30 years with monster trucks. I've seen a lot of products come, seen a lot of products go. We started using the Ionic Friction Reducer, and you talk about a difference. The transmission locked up in War Wizard. They drug it outside. They packed it with ice, they packed it with water, they got it to cool off the temperature, they put the new friction reducer in it, it came back, it went out and completed a 90-second freestyle. That is unheard of.
Good moves out of him lately.
I gotta go through a huge thank you to NMF. They're a proud sponsor of the War Wizard monster truck. They saved our butt tonight. We lost the transmission, we drained oil, we put a whole quart of that stuff in there, we made freestyle and put a heck of a show on. I gotta take my hat off to you. Thank you for everything you guys do for us. You saved this truck tonight, so we owe you one. Thank you.
Brian Wright, driver of Hook Monster Truck. Got this new NMF Friction Reducer. Been running our trucks, man. You can tell a lot in our vibrations, putting in our rears, putting in our engines. I mean, as far as the heat in the motor, you can tell in the temperature of the motor, anything that's got to do with the friction of these high horsepower motors. You know, the longevity of the motor is a $30,000 motor. We've been running in there. You can tell in the heat, so anything that's bringing the heat down is definitely bringing the friction down inside the motor, which is the longevity of the motor is what it's all about out here. So everything's expensive. So any product we can put in here to make our trucks last longer and do better in our shows and have more performance, that's what we're going to run. We're going to stick with the NMF, and we love running it. Glad to have it. Glad to be on board.
This bike has 59,000 miles on it. I put NMF in it a week ago, and this bike has never run better than it runs right now at 59,000 miles.
Wow. Talk about no vibration, bro. I got her screaming. Normally when I'm in fourth gear, I'm feeling a little bit of vibration, you know. I'm screaming, hauling. I'm trying to get a vibration. My mirrors don't even vibrate anymore. The response time on the bike is totally different. I'm learning it all over again, and I haven't felt it like this since I bought it off the lot, and it's quite different because you're used to always riding it wrong, you know, and not smooth. And the transition between smooth and response time, it should be immediate, especially for me, somebody who rides in the canyons a lot, where especially leaning from side to side and response time on the throttle. And this is awesome. Like I'm hitting corners and it's so smooth. Everything, even between my legs, is a little bit smoother. And I have a loud pipe, and it's loud and it backfires. And I'm trying to sit there and make it backfire, and it's not because the NMF has made it so smooth, and it's awesome. Like I pop in the wheelies and I feel like it's nothing. It's all one motion, all one fluid, and it's easy. Just the throttle, everything. Even the clutch is different. It's awesome. I'm excited. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to the canyon. I'm going to Mulholland Canyon. So I'll see you guys at the Snake.
NMF isn't just for semi-trucks and race cars. I'll show you how to apply it to your car. You can apply NMF to your engine, transmission, differentials, power steering, radiator, and fuel. The NMF bottle has a scale on the side so you can see just how much you're putting in. For the engine, you need to add 1 ounce of NMF per quart of oil. So my engine holds 5 quarts of oil, so I'll be adding 5 ounces of NMF. Now for the transmission. You will need to add 1 ounce of NMF per quart of transmission fluid. For an automatic, you will need to add 3 ounces of NMF total. Some transmissions are sealed. If this is the case for you, you will need to take your car to an automotive shop and have them apply the NMF for you. For the power steering, you will add 1 ounce of NMF total. For those of you who would like to have some more precision, you can use an automotive syringe to apply it. Now for the fuel, you will need to add 1 ounce of NMF per 20 gallons. This is good for diesel, gas, alcohol, and 2-strokes. My car only holds 13 gallons of gas, So that means I'll need to apply a little less than 3/4 of an ounce of NMF. I like to apply my NMF first and then pour fuel over the top. And that's how you apply NMF to your car.
Hi, my name is Karen, and this is my 2007 Jeep Patriot. My husband put NMF in the Jeep a couple weeks ago, and since then the Jeep's run great. And many times at stoplights I actually have to look down at the tach just to tell that it's still running.
Hi, my name is Todd Hall. I've got a 64 Buick with a 455 in it. We put NMF in it about 200 miles ago. Run it, just brought it down from storage, run it. Then I was doing a rocker arm change, bush rods and rocker arms. So when I opened up the engine, this is what I seen. And right up here, you'll see on this side how these look nice and clean. And then if you look on this side over here, see how these are all carboned up and dirty and black. And I'll explain to you why. These ones here, the oil comes up these push rods, travels through the rocker, back down here on top of the valve, and lubricates the valve. On this side over here, it has the same rocker arms, but these two are different. So the oil comes up the rod and out this hole in the top and splashes over here and lubricates the valve. Well, it splashes everywhere. So it's cleaned all the carbon off those rockers. The NMF has done that. Because before they would have looked the same as them.
Hello, I'm Aaron Smith. I run the Troublemaker pulling tractor. This is a 1975 International 1466. I've been pulling for a little over 18 years. I come across this product, NMF. Oh my goodness, unbelievable difference. I gained, on my first hook with it, I gained 12 more boost points on my turbo charger. It spools up a lot faster, quicker. My throttle response is a lot faster. Everything, my engine coolant, everything's went down. I lost 75 degrees on my engine. Everything runs cooler. Yeah, I was going to show you guys a part of this video on the oil I drained out of this tractor. I've drained it twice now, and the NMF guy told me, he said it'll actually clean your engine, and I didn't know if that was really true or not. So, you know, I just try it, and I will show you guys a sample. Yeah, here's a sample of the oil. Usually when we pull like 4 or 5 passes on it, it's usually black like that. But actually when you lift up here and look at the bottom, you get all this stuff coming out of my engine. Everything, all the deposits, all the carbon buildup. So yeah, this stuff really works well. So hopefully in a few more times I won't see any more of this, and everything will be nice and clean. Yeah, also on my turbocharger, I was telling you how I get more boost pressure. Also, I noticed after I'm done pulling and everything and shut it off, I know all the turbos on ours always spin a little bit after we shut them off. But what I've noticed here, what it's doing, it's actually spinning like twice as long. So what that's telling me is it's spinning a lot more free inside. So, and that's a good thing.
How you doing? My name is Joe Rivera, and I've been racing for a good 10 years now, and this is my car. It's a 4-cylinder, rear-wheel drive. Pretty noticeable at the track. Not too many 4-cylinders doing what I'm doing. Best time in it right now is about a 598 mile. Ran 950s in the quarter. And I was looking for something that would help me get my car spooled up a little faster. I've been using nitrous for the last couple of years since it's turbocharged. The large turbo that I have, it takes a little more to get it to spool up at the light. So looking online, I found this NMF. I said, let me give this thing a try and see what happens. So I put it in my car, and I revved my car up in my garage, and the first time that I was ever able to spool up my car without actually spraying the nitrous. And the only difference that I've done was put this NMF in my car. So a lot of guys will say, oh, snake on other stuff. Well, the proof is in the pudding to me, because I actually put it in the car and it actually worked.
Hey guys, my name is Stephanie Stallings. I'm a limited stock dirt track racer at Virginia Motor Speedway in Jamaica, Virginia. I've been racing for about 3 years, and this year we decided to try something different. We put NMF in all of our race car. We have it in the engine, in the transmission, and in the rear end. We found that our drive line's running much smoother, everything's shifting great, and our engine's running about 3 to 5 degrees cooler. We would recommend it to all of our fellow racers nationwide. We really appreciate NMF.
Hey, this is BC. We're about to skin her back out here, Mountain View Mud Bog. I got my man. He's going to be recording the action. We'll see you in the mud.
Hashtag stick.
Något forskjell om du startar upp igen? Ja, det var stor forskjell på ristningar där borta och så när du lyfter. Ja, det virker litt sterkere. Ja, det var ikke så lett å kvele motoren. Nå kvelte ikke helt før den, men det var ikke bedre. Ja, for du merker at du slipper gjesten til gassen når du løfter.
Hey, my name is Alan Bowles. This is Ricky Profit with Jupiter Motorsports. We use no more friction in our vehicles. We do the rear ends, transmission, driveline, radiator. It works great, make everything run cooler. What do you think about it, Rick?
I like it. We've started using these race trucks. We got here, we had issues with our power steering, overheat, and we put some in, they fixed it. Our front hubs, we ran them just as hard as they could run. When we come in, they were like 100 degrees where they should be fly at. So we have no problem with it. It's great. It's new. You need to look it up, get the website, get you some of it.
So they put GoNMF in your vehicle, correct?
Not mine. They actually put it in the yellow truck, nicknamed Drago,
Okay.
and they put it in the oil. And from what they were talking about, we were just eating lunch. They said that it dropped the oil temp about 20 degrees on the last run. So yeah, that's cool. They were pretty excited about that.
Good. Wow. It's going to be running.
So now they're like, so what else can we put it in?
So it's running beautiful.
Yeah, it did a great job.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good. It's a unique concept. I think it takes a little getting your head wrapped around what it does exactly. So but it's cool. Go NMF.
Hi, I'm Randy Simmons. I was introduced to this NMF Friction Reducer. I put it in my 58 Chevy truck, which has a 5.9 liter Cummins, and I noticed right off the bat that it quieted the engine down, smoothed out the idle, and when I moved from California here to Colorado Springs, pulling a lot of grades, towing my trailer, it definitely kept the engine cool, everything running smooth. I've also added it to the transmission and the power steering, and noticed a great deal of difference just by adding this.
Hi, I'm Chris. I've got a 95 Kenworth W9 500 horsepower cat. I've got 2 million miles on her, and I've been using NMF on her. I just drop the oil, change the filters, refill it, and go. So far, can't complain. I'm looking to get another million out of it.
My name's Eric Smith. I'm from Wayne, Nebraska. This is my truck. It's an 06 Peterbilt 379. It's got a 500 horse Cummins motor in it and a 13-speed transmission. I got it about 4 months ago, and I've driven it 40,000 miles approximately. When I first got it, the first 3 weeks out, I averaged 4.3 miles per gallon. I went from 4.3 to 5.0 to 5.1 miles per gallon. Since that time, I've put it in the engine, the transmission, both of the drive axles, and this truck is now getting about 5.8 miles per gallon. I use it in the fuel as well to help with the ultra low sulfur diesel fuel that we have, to help with the lubricity of the fuel. The NMF has been a great product for me to use. I feel that it saves me enough money that I can make my truck payment with the money it saves.
My engine pulls fantastic. Transmission's quiet, and I haven't had it to touch the motor. The truck had fantastic miles on it, but we were doing really heavy loads. We were doing probably around 145,000 pound gross weight with that truck. I think that it really cuts your maintenance. I 1,200,000 miles on it when I sold it. I was never on the side of the road with a mechanical issue at all. Keep the alternator changed and change the oil. And I know you can stretch out your oil services with the No More Friction product because your oil's not breaking down as quickly. So, I never stretched the oil changes out very, very much. 15,000 miles with this truck and my old Freightliner, but I know that I could have, because my oil samples came back so good. There's no doubt in my mind that I could have stretched those oil services out. If you're looking to save money, you're a truck driver, you want to save money, you want to stay off the side of the road, I highly recommend the No More Friction product. I put it in my GMC diesel pickup. I've got a van at home, I've got a Suburban at home, I've got a Kawasaki motorcycle at home. I treat all my vehicles with No More Friction. Every direction I look at it, I think the No More Friction product saves you money because things aren't breaking down. $100 whatever a jug that costs is very, very cheap. The money that I've saved literally thousands and thousands of dollars in maintenance costs.
No more friction. Well, you can see I haul oversized. I'm sitting at 92,000 pounds gross vehicle weight. It decreases the blow-by, decreases my turbo lag. I run it in every vehicle that I own. It quiets the engine down in the truck, performs better. I put it in my wife's car. You can't even hear the car run. I don't burn as much oil. I noticed a 5 to 10 degree temperature difference in my drive temperature, and I gain about a quarter to a half a mile to the gallon on fuel mileage by running the No More Friction. And pulling heavy weight like this, we need every advantage that we can get. My wife, she's a very good example. When I first started running this, she could hear me coming to my house about a mile and a half away. And when I put this stuff in, she didn't know I was home until I walked in the door.
A lot of long pulls, a lot of heavy loads. And our biggest thing we've found out is the trucks have been running cooler. And that's what we're after, such heavy loads on these trucks. And we're using it from one end to the other. And the transmissions, rear ends, all the temperatures have dropped dramatically, and I'm a firm believer in using it. It's a good product, and you should get you some and try it out.
Hi, I'm O.C. Lane. I'm leased to Bennett Motor Express. This is my truck, and I use No More Friction in the motor and everything on the truck. I've used it for 15 to 16 years, I know, and you don't do any major repairs anymore. Just minor stuff, little piddly stuff, and you get lots of mileage as far as miles on the truck. This truck now has 590-something thousand miles on it, and it does not regen, it does not do anything anymore. It works, everything works. I don't have any repairs. Nothing seems to break down on it. I don't know why, other than the fact that everything works so good now. It's, no more bearings going bad, no more leaks. It doesn't use oil, and the fuel mileage keeps going up. I started using it in the fuel. The fuel mileage is going up. It's cleaning my tanks out. I don't hear the fuel pump running anymore. Everything is quiet. When you drive down the road, you think you're driving a car. It's unreal, the difference in the smoothness. You don't feel any vibration in the steering wheel anymore, in the gear shift, nothing. Everything is smooth. And I truly recommend this because I gained about 50 RPM by using this. I run down the road the same speed every day, 62, 63, and it takes 50 RPM less to do it. And that my friend, is money. And This truck was doing 5.5. I'm now at the 6.5 to 7.5 miles a gallon, depending on load variations. Nothing gets hot because it controls the temperature, the wear, the tear, and the smoothness. It takes out all the vibration. It's amazing what it does. And it just, I can't believe anybody that would see what it does would not buy it. It's just unreal what it does. You can put it in your lawnmowers, your cars, whatever you want. It just takes out all the vibration, smoothness. It's almost like balancing your truck. You can pull loads, you can check your bearings. There's very little warmness to the hubs anymore at all, whereas before it was hot. Now it's just warm. And the fuel pump is quieter, the engine is quieter, the rear ends don't whine going down the road. You hear nothing. The transmission shifts like it's new. It's unreal. The truck before, I put 2 million miles on a Caterpillar, mechanical cat, doing over 700 horsepower. And this truck never broke down, never did. I put 2 alternators on it, a water pump, and I don't think anything else. The transmission never was pulled out of it, the rear ends never was pulled out. And this truck, when I started running it, I started putting it in there, and it had 300,000 miles on when I got it. And I started driving this truck, hauling heavy loads, light loads, you name it. And hard to get to places. This truck never stopped running, never did.
Hi, my name's Scott TREADWAY. I drive a truck for Jupiter Enterprise, haul coal every day out of Harlan, Kentucky to South Carolina. We started using NMF in our Peterbilt trucks, cat motors. We use it in everything. We use it in the motors, we use it in the differentials, front hubs, and it's dramatically reduced our engine temperatures, our hub temperatures, less friction. And less friction means better fuel economy. So that's helped us with our fuel economy. It's a really great product. You really need to try it.
We're going to put some NMF in our differential that's running a little warm.
I'm Chris with the Exodus Diesel Racing Champ Truck number 73. I'm the crew chief. Robbie Decker is the driver. We're with the Champ Truck series, and we're here at VIR, and we're very impressed with the NMF product. We had an issue with our rear axle this morning, and we added the product in, and we lowered the temperatures by about 20 to 30 degrees. Actually, it was a very big jump for us on this particular instance. We also added it to our power steering, which was running 226 degrees yesterday, and this morning we were about 186 to 190. So we're very, very impressed with this product.
Hello, I'm David Gonzalez. This is my truck. It's a 98 Peterbilt with a 550 cat, 18-speed, 355 rear ends. I've been pulling with John Christner Trucking since 01. I've been using NMF in my truck, and it runs a lot smoother, a lot quieter. I've been using it in the truck and motor, transmissions, rear ends, radiator, power steering. With this oil, I don't have no problem climbing these hills. I get good fuel mileage. From 6.2, I'm up to like 7.1 right now on fuel mileage. Oil, I'm not using it. Rear ends are nice and cool. Transmission stays nice and cool. Climbing these hills out here, I ain't got no problem with these heavy loads. Shifting is a lot smoother, a lot easier going in. And the only thing I found out is I'm from old school. You go by hearing when you shift, and now it's like retraining myself. I gotta look down because it's so quiet that I gotta look at my RPMs to shift the gears again. I gotta retrain myself to my own truck. Shifting is a lot smoother and quieter. So going down the road, you really don't know what you're doing until you look down at your RPMs and speedometer. Like a couple times I caught myself out there on the road, I was doing like 75, 80 miles an hour in a 65 miles an hour zone and no noise. The pulling performance, I noticed I could pull a lot better, but the thing is, like, I'm going down, I'm looking for the downshifting part, and when you're going up the hills, you don't downshift no more. You downshift very little, it pulls a lot better.
Hi, I'm Travis.
And I'm Colton. We race for Full Throttle Race Team out of Manitoba, Canada. Right now we're just working on one of our quads, trying to get it ready for the race tomorrow. We've used NMF on our bikes for 2 seasons now, seen great results. I like personally that my engine will rev quicker with NMF in it. I've had lower temperatures with oil temp, and at the end of the season when I take my motor apart, there's less bearing wear than I've noticed with the previous years.
And also I run in my engine, significantly lower engine temps. I run it in my diffs, my tranny, less wear, less friction, less, in the end it's just a great product.